Hey guys, I'm back and I'm here today with a full coverage foundation routine. I know that not everyone likes a full coverage foundation, but it's something that I really like, so I just wanted to show you how I like to do my foundation routine, and you guys can take some of the tips and tricks that I have and apply them to yours. So just like always, thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more, and just keep watching if you want to see how I do my foundation. So I've already clipped my hair back, and then I've already moisturized my skin, which is something that's really important in making sure that your foundation goes on smoothly. I'm just going to start by priming my skin. I am using the Benefit PoreFessional, and I'm just going to use a little bit, and I'm going to press it into where I have the most pores. And for me, that is in the areas right next to my nose, on my nose, and then on my forehead. And I'm using the MAC Strobe Cream because every time I use matte foundation, it tends to make my skin look a little dull. And so I want to rub this into my skin just to help reflect the light. And if you're asking, the reason I do use matte foundations is because matte foundations tend to be more full coverage as opposed to foundations that give you dewy finishes, which I do really like those, but at the same time, I need to make sure that I am covering up everything, because I do have, as you guys can see, a lot of redness, and sometimes I get some breakouts. So I'm going to use MAC Studio Fix Fluid. This is an NC25, and I did by the pump with it. And I'm just going to dot this all over my face. I'm going to take one pump and then just dot it all over my face. And then I'm going to use my Real Techniques Expert Face Brush and buff this in. And so, obviously I'm going to need more than just one pump, but I found that in order to avoid my makeup caking up on me, it's better for me to build it up slowly. So now I'm just adding some, and then the more I add, I just tend to focus it more on where my problems areas are. And those areas would be on my forehead and then in this redness here. And I have already done my eye makeup for today. I used the Maybelline Inked in Pink Color Tattoo and then MAC Sketch. It's just a really easy look. I always do my eye makeup before I do my foundation just because it tends to, I tend to have a lot of fallout. And so just to avoid that, let myself be messy. So now I'm almost all covered, so I'm just going to go where my I have the most redness, and then that's where I'm going to finish this up. Okay, so now I've finished up with my foundation, and I'm going to move on to concealer. So I'm using the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, and you can see I use this in NC25, because I am a little tanner now, but I use NC15 as a concealer. I just find it really brightens under the eyes. And I've already dampened my beauty blender, so you can see it's pretty big. This isn't the original beauty blender. This is one of the like the knockoff ones, but I saw Casey Holmes do a review on it and it looked really cool, so I went out to Marshall's and I got it. It's made by Precision Beauty. And so I really like that. And I'm just dotting this under my eyes. And then I'm gonna take a little bit and also dot it under, or on the bridge of my nose, and then up on my forehead. And this just helps to create that natural glow. And then I'm gonna take my beauty blender and blend that in. So if you want to highlight and conceal all in one step, then you can kind of dot it the way I did. And then also bring the concealer all the way down here. But I'm going to go in with another highlighter later. So I'm kind of leaving that as it is. So then with concealer, it's kind of the same thing where you don't want to just put it all on once. You want to try to use as little as you can, and then if you have to add more, just be conservative about it so that you don't end up having cakey concealer under your eyes, because what will inevitably happen is that you'll crease. And then this eye is always a little bit darker. And I really like using the pointed edge on this because it just gets right up in there. Okay, so now I'm going to highlight. And I'm going to be using the MAC Prep and Prime, and mine is in Light Boost. And instead of going all the way up into the eye, I'm just going to kind of complete where that triangle would be. So you kind of go here to here, and I concealed like a half min. And then I'm going to complete that triangle like this. And with this, I found it's okay to be a little more liberal. And then I'm going to go over my highlighted areas a little bit. And now I'm going to go back in with that Beauty Blender and blend that out. The one thing I'm going to do that I forgot to do is just highlight right on my Cupid's bow, and I just dab that out with the Beauty Blender too. And that just kind of helps you create a more full lip. So now that I've concealed and highlighted, I am just going to go in quickly with a cream contour. And I think I'm going to do a contour and highlight video soon, but I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Stick. And this is in Toffee Caramel, however you say it. And I am just going to cream contour with this. I really like the look of a dramatic contour. Going a little bit up into the forehead, but because I did do that highlight, I don't want to go too dark up there on the forehead, or else I will risk it looking way too dramatic. I am just using, this is the e.l.f. Small Stipple Brush, and I'm just using this to buff this out. And then you kind of want to blend where it is in the hollow of your cheekbones and on the temples through. And then when in doubt, you always want to make sure that your contour is darker back by your ear, because that helps to kind of bring the face back and add more dimension. So then when I go with the nose, instead of using circular motions, I very lightly just go up and down. And while it does look like I'm going fast, I'm like very little of my brush is touching my nose. Otherwise, if you're too harsh, sometimes it kind of like spreads out like that, and it's like very obvious that you've contoured your nose. Whereas you just kind of want a subtle contour. So now I am going to go in and set where I've highlighted, and I am going to use the L'Oreal True Match powder. This is just the super blendable powder, and it is an N2. So it is obviously pretty light for me, but it just sets that concealer really nicely. Make sure it doesn't crease. And then by using a lighter one, you're not darkening where you've just tried to highlight. And then this is the Real Techniques setting brush, which is one of the greatest brushes they've come out with. It just fits under the eye and then wherever you highlighted so perfectly. So I love this. And then I'm going to go in with my NARS pressed powder in Beach. You can see I pan on this baby. And I'm going to use my Real Techniques powder brush for this. I just go everywhere else, even over the contour. It'll be fine. And this is such a fine pressed powder that it really doesn't matter how much you apply. Just because it never cakes up. So now I am going to go in with a bronzer. I know I just contoured with cream, but that was just kind of like start it. This is going to really help to warm up the face, and I'm using NARS Laguna for this. And I'm using this Sephora big bronzing brush just because I'm not going for a crazy contour. I'm just trying to add some dimension and some warmth to my face. And again, be careful when you're up here because it is very obvious if you were sloppy with your bronzer. As opposed to your temples, it's usually, you can kind of get away with a stronger contour. And then just in order to finish up that contour on my nose, I'm going to use the Real Techniques contour brush. This came in the beginner set, or I don't know. I'll let you know down below. I'm just going to go with that. And then I'm going to also take this and go under my lip. This also helps to make your lips look a little fuller. So now I'm going to go in with blush, and I'm going to use one of the colors in my MAC palette. I'm going to use this one here in Immortal Flower. It's just this awesome coral color, and I love it. So I'm just going to use my MAC 168. It's kind of like this, it's pretty much exactly like the Sigma Large Contour. Tap off the excess and then go over the hollows of my cheekbones. And unfortunately this color isn't really showing up on camera, but I promise you in real life it's looking awesome. So I am just going to finish up with the lip. I've already done my eyes and my brows, and then I did put some mascara on. So I'm going to use my new favorite lipstick from MAC, which is in Pure Zen. It is like the most perfect, like pinky, like orangey nude. I'm just going to put that on. I just love how MAC lipsticks smell. And then I am going to top that off with these, this is from the Maybelline Color Elixir line. And this one is in Nude Illusion. And that is it. So thank you so much for watching, guys. And I think I'm going to do a contour and highlight video next time, but just comment down below if there's anything else you want to see. And thanks so much for watching. Until next time.